Greetings, everyone. It is such an honor to be here with you. I am Aurora. If you can confirm that you can see us and hear us so that we can continue with our transmission, I'm going to begin introductions while you all confirm. I am Aurora. It is such an honor to be here with you. I am the founder of Aura Hypnosis Healing, as well as the author to Galactic Soul History of the Universe, which is right here. It is available in both Spanish and English. And you can find that on Amazon on paperback and ebook. 740 pages worth of past life regression history that our beautiful clients throughout our Earth and our universe, since they traveled the universe, told their history that came together and put it magically together for us so that we could understand what is it, how is it that we're in this inversion. Really, it is the most self-activating and most heart-expansive book you will ever read. You can read the reviews on Amazon, but you can, it's just amazing. If you all have read it, write a comment in the notes. Quick introductions. You can find my more information on my website, risingphoenixaurora.com. Wonderful. We do have one more announcement. We have a Chicago in-person live retreat occurring. It is happening in actually about 2 weeks. So if you've been waiting, don't wait anymore. Follow your heart and get there. Plan now. We just finished our online workshop actually this week, which was intense and full. It was very full. So it was absolutely amazing. You can check out testimonials under my site so you can see how, and actually, testimonials here on YouTube. I have a playlist for that. So you can see how it changes people's worlds. And if you truly want to be that enlightened being, that lighter being, that being that no longer is held by the inversions, and then you could also use these techniques on your family and you become sovereignly free. And actually, I really do think that Adama's really going to talk about this intent, this sovereignty. He's really going to take us on a journey through the universe and Earth. So love to see you there in person. And there's some spots left. So I want to fill it up all the way. It is a huge mansion. So we want to fill up every room. So in honor to that, if you'd like to come and bring a friend, your friend can have 20% off. So let me know if you want to do that. Email me at risingphoenixaura@gmail.com. You can find all my information on my website. You can contact me through there as well. But 20% off for your friend. Okay. Thank you. Wow. I am so excited to be here with you all, to be channeling Aurora, as he is glorious, a powerful warrior, the most powerful, I think, warrior on Earth as we stand. Absolutely. Oh, he is magic. He is just a blessing to creation. So it is such an honor to be channeling him today. Those of you who watched his channeling about a year ago, he brought the 13th sacred laws of the universe information, as well as the pyramids and the 144 pyramids that are extremely important. So to our sovereignty. And today he's going to be giving us further information, really taking us on a journey. So prepare yourself, because it's going to be phenomenal. So if you haven't watched part 1 of that channeling, it is really important that you go back to it, because he took 1 hour explaining. So this is, you can say, part 2, what's the next chapter of this information. So if you haven't had a chance to write your questions, write them now in your comments. Otherwise, if you write them ahead of time, you can write them on the posts that I create under my Facebook page, under my Facebook group, which is Rising Phoenix Angels, as well as my Telegram, Rising Phoenix Aurora. I have a group and a profile there, and then also my Patreon. So I give a lot of updates there if you're not watching me there. Okay. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get started. Minnie, say greetings, love, and so excited to have you here once more.
Yes, as I'm excited and honored to be here with each one of you. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Um, and I'm excited to meet Adama. He's absolutely beautiful and divine, and a beautiful representative of what a divine masculine should be like within our universe. And I see a question about that, so that's absolutely beautiful. Thank you, everyone. I am an Aura practitioner, A.U.R.A practitioner, and a quantum galactic Akashic reader as well. And you can find me on my website, angelicalchemyholistichealing.com, as well as I have a page on aurapractitioners.com where you can actually find all of our other beautiful divine healers, sisters and brothers. We have divine masculines as well. So thank you. Welcome, everyone. Love you all infinitely. Thank you.
Let's enjoy and let's go on this beautiful journey together. Going to go ahead and prepare myself now. Start taking deep breaths. There's people outside talking, so I'm going to close my window. Aurora. Aurora. Greetings. I am Adama A.U.R.A. It is such an honor to be here with you today upon this important communications. Humbly bow to you now in gratitude, love, honor, and respect. May our beautiful brethren, the warriors of light, the warriors of strength, courage, you warriors who have accepted this call to come forth and incarnate upon the top layer of Earth. We shall give just a quick introduction of who we are, as we have given a thorough introduction in our first video. I am Galactic Guardian and leader of our Agarthian people within the Inner Earth. I am not the only leader. However, how you can see me is that I am the elder leader who is in charge of your, as you would call it, perhaps, what word would you use? Don't like the human words you have. Black Ops Army. We don't like those words. However, what is a spiritual word we can use to that? I oversee the, let's call it the revolution, spiritual revolution. There we go. The spiritual revolution that is led here inside of Earth that you feel rippled out from above. We are in your dreams, we are in your thoughts, we are in your hearts in many forms. We are in your fires, the fierce fires that you feel within you that ignite this world in this time and space. We are that, for we are you and you are us. Many of you are living both on the surface of Earth as well as the inside of Earth in a multidimensional. As we have spoken prior, in order for you to be here, there is not just the one fractal of you, there is many fractals of you, every soul being different and unique in that manner, where some may have a dozen, some may have 5, some may have hundreds, some may have thousands. Many yous existing in parallel dimensions, all in the same time and space. Now we are the beginnings of the creation of Earth, when we were giants and magical and glowed. That is still how we look like, and elven in nature. That is us. We have been able to retain our abilities, our attributes of connecting to the universe, beginning from Lemurian times to Atlantis, when the archonic battles began upon our land, as within the Lemurian space, once the archons took over Atlantis, it became challenging, as we knew. We had foreseen that this were to happen, though we tried our best to stay on surface. We knew that they would eventually wipe us out if we did not be proactive ahead of time and space. And as we spoke in the first channeling, we have tunnels, sacred tunnels, portals that only those who are pure can enter through to come into our space. Through these portals, you enter into the beautiful, magnificent Agarthian land. This Agarthian land looks like, closest that you can imagine, is a fusion of a futuristic city, however, with a combination of natural components as crystals, and we here multi-dimensionally interact like a kaleidoscope of dimensions shifting back and forth. Here within this earth, we actually hold the collective timeline of our earth and your earth. For if we did not do this, then this earth itself would have imploded in itself and not been able to remain within its timeline. But we hold that space energetically, strongly, with galactic unity of the universe, which at this point we are able to share because we are the majority, and we have reached that time and space that we can share this information. So we hold the Earth's timeline, though you are truly the ones that are acting upon. You are the actors within this play that are acting upon the timelines. We hold the organic timeline in place. For inside the Earth is the real organic Earth, and outside is the false AI inverted Earth. So when time comes, in time and space and decades to come of the collective final physical shift, the way the Earth will happen is that it will be like a layer, a crust, the crust of layer, and it would be like, say, how you watch a dragon birth from an egg, or a chick birth from the egg. You can imagine our final shift of consciousness after the solar wave, which Aurora and team and our galactics and A.U.R.A have already explained that in past channelings. When that solar wave of the collective of source and all the beautiful stars in our universe collectively zap Earth to bring it into a shifting higher consciousness, into back its true organic 5-dimensional timeline, the layer of crust will fall off, and those who choose to ride with us shall ride with us in a higher percentage of 5-dimensional or higher. Now, with that is that you do have to work within yourself. For too long, we watch the biggest distortions upon human minds and humankinds and human hearts. It has been a hard journey to watch, for we are in touch with our abilities once more. However, we have watched you be asleep and being controlled in many forms through mind control and the people around you who hold densities that keep distracting you. We've watched this over and over, and it has been hard to watch. Though we know that in a time and space, you have already evolved. We know that you do it. We just have to collectively, with infinite love and sovereignty get you there. And we strongly talk about the 13 keys, the sacred laws of our universe. The reason why we talk about this is because it is part of our organic blueprint that is connected to the universe now, that has come online and connecting even deeper. We, in time and space, we've had only about, say, 20 to 30% of our universe being able to connect and assist Earth. However, because of the bifurcation, the two-third world split, as Aurora calls it, that occurred in 12/21/2020, because of this, that the 5D organic timeline finally split in a multidimensional, finally still in unity, as she explains, still in unity, your inverted Earth and your organic Earth walking, still connected, still bridged together, because again, we have to help those who are inverted and in their mind, in their ego, not choosing to expand in consciousness and possibilities, the infinity of possibilities. That's what we do. We bridge. We're that example. We bridge you all here on the surface. We bridge them into the organic. So that is the role. We are a bit like those of you who have awakened to this understanding that you are an inverted and you have chosen not to ignore it or to say it's not part of your belief system, which is quite ludicrous on our point of view, because we're watching you and be in this inverted, and you knew that before you came into this inverted, you were going to be in it. However, we still hold strong love, light. However, every day we pull out a call for those of you who are ready to finally come out of everything is love and light. Love and light, which is another programming in itself. We wanted to clarify is that you do not separate love and light. Because then you separate love from light. Then what is light when it does not have love in it? It is an emptied shell. So be cautious in the words you say, because everything you say is a spell. All of it. Your senses, your words, your vibration, your frequency that comes out through your vocal communications is a spell in some form. And it is also an intention, a creation, a manifestation, all of it. So therefore, if you separate love and then you say and light, that is archonic. That is the way they want you to separate. That's part of the programming. They want you to separate things, just like humanity and their Illuminati's programming has separated science and spirituality. Actuality, science, that is an abomination within itself. When you separate science from spirituality, that's where you go back to those Atlantean abomination of experiments. Taking souls, consciousness, putting them in bodies that are in pain because they're a human and an animal form, acting like they are God themselves when they are not. All these different things that start leading a planetary sphere down a path that it should not. Therefore, do not separate these things. Spirituality and science is one in itself. It's a fusion of itself. It's when you separate them negatively like that you invert them. Not you specifically, however, that's the archons, mind games that they like to play with you. So the correct term is love light. Love light. Light love, love light. Light love, love light. It's the same thing. It's one and the same. Okay, now, this is a simple little negative, dark seeds that they plant in your time and space, and they began it back in Atlantis when the fall occurred. Okay, so we are your ancestors, the first beings of this earth that were that chose to be in peace and not allow the archons to infiltrate us. And we had strong seers with us. We had Divine Mother Fractal in that time and space, who is still with us actually now. A beautiful archangel that is still with us, and she helped us as the seer she was, and as all we are seers, create this plan where we were going to go into Earth so that we could actually save this timeline by our choices of standing in our hearts and not allowing that plague, that archonic virus of falseness to infiltrate our community. Now, we're not going to say all of them weren't, but a great vast amount were able to stay in their heart, where Atlantis was not able to do that, though there was still warriors of light trying to convince people. They were initially the cause to the fall. Aurora spoke of her recent, her most recent video. We believe it was called the Grays, something, the Grays and Maxine, which she is saying you could watch that on Vimeo. Link is found here on YouTube. That video where she started talking about how we are in the same time and space. Now we're seeing it where we are, there's light workers, and then there's also light workers that say they're light workers, but however, they're still dark workers because they're the same ones that chose to fall and cause the war and the destruction on children, all of that. So we are in the time and space where they're choosing, are they going to stay within the negative timeline of who that, came into what, we can't say, you got to figure it out on your own, or choose the most organic path of freedom and so on, of the other being that is still very much in power in another form, you can say. So those beings that chose that are those same dark workers that were tricked by the mind and did not actually go into their heart and feel within their heart what was accurate. So they're going through their own process. They're going through their process. It's like they're given a second chance right now. They are being given a second chance. So do they choose to stay still in that negative thought form of Archon program, Archon falseness, or do they choose to come on over on your side, our side, where we can see very clearly that this is false? So is, getting these things injected into you that make you AI. This is obviously a false agenda. So we see it so clearly. So we're waiting for them to come and see the true organic path. So the more we bring them back, if they allow it, but many of them are too stubborn in nature, but it is the fact that the reason they're stubborn in nature is because they're too compromised. They have still the Archon that injected into them, that integrated into them when the fall of Atlantis. They still have that reptilian inside of them. They still have these entities that when they consented and agreed, they still have this in their blueprint, in their field, because they allowed it in. So no one is a victim, no one is a victim. They allowed this into them. Okay. So you who are listening to this transmission, we want you to understand that this is one of the roles that we're playing, is that we're still holding light. There was a beautiful aura regression that everything that is shared within this YouTube channel, it is divinely, organically planned out by the universe and the benevolence of it. You know it. You can feel it when you listen to it. It brings you to tears and it shifts you. Every single one of us that it speaks through whatever form is divinely planned in that exact date, in that exact time, all of it. So we encourage you to watch every video that is put out through us, because these are pieces of your memory field, keys to unlock things that are sealed still negatively within you. There's the aura regression. Just hold the light that you want to watch as soon as possible this weekend. Put it on your agenda, on your schedule, because it will teach you how you are to hold this light. Yeshua talks through it, and Mother Mary, how you are to hold this light within this time and space so that we could continue this fight of love, of sovereignty, of light, love, of love light. This beautiful fight of freedom of souls, freedom of all our sovereign laws. Okay, now I want to continue. Open up. So that is who we are. Now, within the inner earth, there are some dark portals that we're still ourselves working on. And those of you who assist in any type of form of modalities that are assisting within the multidimensional, whether it's through divine organic hypnosis or other modalities as in Reiki, whatever you're assisting on, and you're assisting strongly in entity removal, closing portals, you are a gem right now to our time and space, because we need your assistance, because you're the ones that are playing out this timeline for us. Like we said, you are, but we are, you can say, like the Yeshuas, holding the love light for you so that you can make the right decisions for your highest path, so that you can choose most organic forms of your life. That's what we're here to do. You can talk to us through your dream time, through your meditation. None of this like, it's aggravating as the leader that I am in retrieving and removing dark forces. It's like that, only say elite people can talk to us in the inner earth and only some. That's BS. Okay, that's BS. No, everyone can talk to us, because again, it is a multidimensional kaleidoscope of dimensions happening down here. It's also where Mother Earth, we've talked about this, where her heart is at as well, her crystalline, her heart and the collective consciousness. And the blueprint exists within the all of the plates of crystals, gigantic clusters of crystals that actually make up the earth. So all this memory field is working together, and you can connect to all of it, to connect to us or to connect to your higher self and your benevolent guides, angels. It's time to remove those inversions of thinking that you can't connect, because that is false. You actually can connect, but first you do have to remove those negative voices that can be, infringements upon you, like entities. And they put viruses, things in the water, and all these chemicals that, insert like reptilian viruses, and they make you clouded. It's really time to really take care of your vessel, because your vessel is your transportation in their time and space. So if you don't take care of your vessel, it's your shell, your crystalline shell. It is what you can say, if you look at a fruit, how they all have shells, and then inside is the replenishment of energy, but the shell is your body, because inside is this beautiful, say, organic soul, and then the outside of it is like that skin, like say a peach. So that skin that is protecting all parts of you needs to be treated with the most beautiful respect. So when you start treating your body in that manner and clearing it, balancing it, healing it, doing what you're supposed to be doing then your spirit starts connecting further, because your spirit can be in such a high vibration, especially if you're trying to raise its enlightenment, its ascending consciousness, right? So it is hard if your body is not clear of these inversions, it is hard for your spirit to truly connect, because the body will always keep it dense and will keep it blocked, because you're going to have your spirit up here that's this high, beautiful benevolence of source fractals, and then your body is like, oh, barely hanging on down here. Oh. And you have to raise that body to make sure it's at the most purest, cleanest eating, vegan. We say vegan because when you eat anything that has life, then that's the archons. They make people eat life so that they can make them heavy enough and dense enough to control. So the body being light, eating organics as much as possible, and definitely not eating any life from another. And those of you who are vegan, you know how beautiful your world is, and how this is these are the beginning steps on how to help your body to connect to the spiritual. Now, I'm going to go ahead and those are some of the things that you can assist yourself with connection, because remember, you are the wielder of your connection. So what choices are you making that are? It's the poor choices that you make, like Archangel Metatron often says. It's those poor choices that you make that put you in the situation you are in. So make it the best, most beautiful, organic choices for yourself. Now I want to go back to the Galactic War. Now, I know these things sound so very minimal, but they're not actually. They're actually the beginning stages if you really want to ascend your consciousness higher. They're the beginning ones. It's so simple, but yet so complicated in your life, isn't it? Now, going back to there has been, since that bifurcation has occurred, there now, instead of I believe I became sidetracked as I was talking about the 20 to 30% that was being able to assist Earth. Now, since you are raising in a higher, since basically the blueprint of the 5D has come online and activated in its crystalline formation, we can actually tap in now, because before we couldn't. It was the planets that are linked in a universal webbing of these 13 sacred laws. It was hard for them, because if you have a planet, so let's take a journey through the universe. If you have a planet that is in a higher dimension, whether it's on your, say, section of schooling, which are the 13 dimensions and highers, and then the 13th and 13 dimensions and lowers is your schooling, but the 13 dimensions and higher are actually the past the schooling once you've graduated. Okay, so these other planetary spheres and races, the infinity of alien races, were not able to hold on. A lot of them were not able to hold on to your Earth, because in a sense, when you made that choice of allowing the archons, the light workers turned to dark workers, and they allowed for the fall of Atlantis to occur. When you made that choice, you inverted the Earth itself, and it became A.I. virus, the archons. So when that happened, if some of these planetary spheres that were in the higher dimensions, if we didn't cut off and say quarantine you way in a positive shielding way, then that actually archon virus could have fed all the way up to the higher dimensions. And we're talking about, it did reach some as high as lower than 20th dimension, the archon virus. However, past that, it really was unreachable. So we went through like a releasing of some of these places that chose this path, because then everyone would be, say, destroyed and harvested, and then who would have come and who would have held the light? You understand? So these higher dimensions of planetary spheres in our universe that is infinite had to, in some form, sever its cord to Earth, because you became like a black hole of inverted AI that was sucking up the rest of the planets, and it's just like, say, dark matter sucks on other dark matter, if you could view it in a spiritual, scientific point of view, it would become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, so big that it could potentially suck up and then invert all the souls of the universe. So that's why we explained that you're quarantined in your 13 dimensions because of that. Now, there were some alien races that you are very aware of that, you know, are very common in your time and space, but through our transmissions, we'll continue to unravel more and more through our teachings. The ones you are aware of, we're the ones that have been able to hold in time and space. Hold on to your earth, but then they also became a bridge, like a bifurcation as well, because somehow they were able to hold on to earth through its energetic crystalline cord and anchor in that love, light, and whole space for them. But then somehow they were still able to still bridge to the higher dimensions of other planetary spheres. So they were both like a bridge, like you are right now within the two-third world split. You're walking both the 3D, 4D, 5D. You're bridging from the 4D into the 5D, back and forth, constantly shifting energies. You don't realize how much you're doing. You're actually doing quite an infinite amount of work every day. And some of it you don't know it for your own safety. Okay. So some of these, you know, alien races, planetary spheres that you are aware of, that's what they did. They became bridges of the light that was clear, and they almost became like filters. So if you can imagine, kind of like they were a sphere, and then a link to the higher realms, and then another link to the lower realms, a bit like the tree of knowledge, the tree of wisdom, climbing up and down it, through the Akashic as we teach. So they became this bridge that held on to you, but the higher realms were helping them hold on to you. In an energetic point of view, we hope that you understand this through quantum worlds, as everything is connected in some point of view. Therefore, we thank all of them because they were the reason why we are amazingly still holding strong here. So that has changed, not just the 20-30%. Is now we're looking more of like the 40-50%, which is tremendous of a change of the universe is actually assisting and holding the light, only because, again, the bifurcation, the 5D blueprint finally came online, because they can connect to that. You understand? Do you have questions on that? I think that was quite expansive on the mind. So we want to ensure you understand that before we move forward.
We've understood that. Thank you. It's a beautiful picture you're painting for us. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So beautiful. You're doing such a beautiful infinite work. You just need to recognize it. And that's why that video of Aura regression of Jesus and Mother Mary, just hold a light, will help you really understand the significance to what you're doing just by holding the light, because that's what you need to do. Just hold that love light. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else we need to. So much energy. See if there's anything else that needs to be spoken before we continue. Before we open up to questions. Yeah. I think we're good. Yes, go ahead. You may continue with your questions, please.
Thank you, Adama, brother. Welcome once again. I love you infinitely. Thank you for being here. And thank you for sharing everything that you did, because it really does make sense, and universally and organically how we've been helped in these times. Because pretty much like in the airplane, if there's, something happens, you first wear the oxygen mask yourself, and then you help the others around you. And if the quarantine had not happened, we're aware now that we have all these beautiful benevolent galactic ships aiding us from ether so much so that they take us into the vessels to heal us as well as help us in the past life regressions. They're always around, and we have that help because we were quarantined, and they are safe to do so. So we understand that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, you answered the question about detoxing. Someone wanted to know, since we are what we eat, how and what do you, Adama, recommend as a detox? Please, to help us work through these current timelines. Do you have anything else to add there? I know you spoke about veganism.
Yes. So again, it's very simple. It's actually something that many of you use. It's a smoothie cleanse, the most organic, and definitely start with gardening your own food from your own land. Why do you want to garden from your own land? That's what we do. We garden all our food, right? We don't really eat much. We do eat, some fruits and some vegetables, but we really charge from the crystals, and also we have this beautiful luminescent light sun that is not, it's not what is the word, it's not fake. It is connecting to all the crystals. They create this, like, easiest way I can say it is if you put an orb of light like a sun together, and then you actually, then it like it exploded is not the word. What is the word? Not exploded. However, it would expand, burst out, and then it created this shimmers of crystalline sunlight. And that is what is there. And then all the crystal beds and all the inside the earth keep that recharging. So yes, this beautiful sun energy recharges us. We understand that we're this beautiful community. Now, of course, there has been, galactic battles that have actually occurred inside the inner Earth, when some of the negative aliens that live on your surface, and then sometimes inside, inwards in caves in different places, and they have their bases pretty low into the earth. We have had that. However, we are, in a very strong force, in a high vibration where it's not, I can't say further on that. However, we have had, we protect strongly against forces like that. So yes, going back to the food. So the reason why you want to grow is as we grow, our berries and our, grapes and, fruits and vegetables, is because your land is an extension of you. It is part of your energy field, your home and your land. Therefore, if you grow it from its own soil and its, your own frequency and vibration, your own blueprint of soul, it is then you are actually replenishing from the matching vibration that you are, versus if you, now, of course, we know that you can't do that. However, you asked. So if you ever can grow a little farm, even just simple few vegetables here and there, or fruits, a little bit goes in most far expansive way. Even if you put these small components into your food, even just one ingredient, it will transform and alchemize the food that you're eating, that perhaps might be from other farms and locations that might have chemtrails and all those negative things. So yes, on your land, you shield it, you put force fields on it, like we've taught you, your I am source light, yourself. So it's shielded. So therefore it's in a when you're shielding your home and your land, making it very clear that your home and your land is at the 5-dimensional crystalline earth. So you envision your whole entire home and land in a crystalline 5-dimensional state blueprint. But when you do that, therefore, everything that is grown within your land, because you're your sovereign home and land, right? Then that food will come and spring out as 5-dimensional crystalline form. You understand? So that's why it's important for you to do this for yourself in some form that you can. So once, yes, purging, cleansing, transmuting a negativity within your body, it's just very easy. It's an alchemy that It seems like it's something so simple, but it's actually quite a beautiful alchemy. Working, loving your food, working with your food, really just emanating an infinity of love to it. Focusing love through your hands upon the food as you're cooking it, as you're stirring it, and on your stoves, or if you're eating more of a smoothie, you're just really loving it. You're giving it so much thanks for it being your nourishment. That's what it is, right? So you have to learn how to make love to your food, and just in a beautiful way. Make it into love itself, because when you learn how to love it and make love to the food, you make it into love, and then you're ingesting love. And that is what we need. That is our replenishment of the soul. It's love. So, yes. Before we move on, I wanted to talk about the 13 sacred laws of the universe. We really talked about them in the first time. Now, we explained how there are 144 pyramids on Earth that were, though there's more, there's thousands of them, close about thousands of them, yes. In the hundreds, thousands, like 100 and yeah, hundreds. There's 144, and then there is points. Now, all of them don't still have a pyramid on them, but truthfully, this is where you get the 144,000. Okay, so there's 144,000 chakra points on Earth. Some of them still have a pyramid on them. Some of them don't. But they are still acting as beacons of pyramids, crystalline pyramids. All of these connect, and they actually are part of the system that is connected to us inside the Earth, and also the universe that we spoke of, the ones that are able to assist you in your bifurcation choices of organic, right? So this also keeps your galactic planetary construct stable. Okay. In the past, the black magic Illuminati, these people would find their goal constantly. Well, how many of you have had lives where you're burned to death, you were mummified, you were, part of those black magic rituals, part of those pedophilia? Many of you have had that. So they would find those that stood out, like not asleep zombies. You stand out when you're surrounded by a world that's asleep zombies in whatever time and space on your Earth's surface. You stand out in the Earth's time and space, and especially if you're not aware, you've been disconnected, you don't know that you're supposed to not consent, take your sovereignty back, surround yourself with your I am source of light, not consenting. You're not going to blend in with the rest of sleep, say zombies. You're going to, or muggles as you would call it, okay, so you're going to really stand out. So they would find all of them because they would retrieve information through them. And, little by little, they also took, sacred scrolls. They took information from, Yeshua's teachings, Mother Mary, Isis, different times and spaces, Cleopatra. Actually, Cleopatra was the biggest information because Cleopatra had a abundance of knowledge and had sacred information. She took the major book of hers with her. However, they were really able to, take the sacred knowledge that is being given to these sacred people. And that were those people trying to wake up the world, and, you just because you like to smell flowers and run barefoot in the field, oh, she's a witch, ridiculous. So these very people, you were burned to death and all of this, right? So that's why they harvested your information, harvested your light, so that it could then be used in a black magic binding, collective black magic binding, to actually compromise all these 144,000 crystals pyramids that actually connect to the 144 that are the generators of the 144,000. Okay, so you hear that 144,000, 144,000. That's what that is. So what happens is that it's like a when you look at the brain, it's a neurological system, right? That has little tiny sparks of light in it, but yet all the brain is connected. That's the way the Earth is, because she is a consciousness, and then you can connect to this consciousness, right, as well. Therefore, what we're explaining to you is that we've made the vast amount of strive that we have ever made since the fall of Atlantis, as far as bringing back these pyramid crystalline formations of the 144,000 pyramids. We've have made a strive, a gigantic strive. Many of you who are interested in working as warriors of light, closing dark portals, removing archons, helping positive polarized entities. Some of you are doing it in your sleep. You just don't remember it. So, when there's time, you might transition when you feel it in your heart to actually doing it in the physical as well, in the, not the delta, in the awake mode as well. However, yes, collectively, if you're aware of this, you're already working on this. If you've read Galactic Soul History of the Universe, which we put together by these beautiful souls, if you've read that, and then then you're very aware of this, so you're already doing it in your sleep. So we humbly thank you for that, because when you're sleeping, you join with us in a collective consciousness, and then you can say we go together as groups and then take back some of these pyramids. But in order to do that, we have to have those collective towns be at the right light. So every grouping on Earth and these towns need to reach that certain amount of light to allow us to be able to retrieve that back. Because, since we're benevolent, we can't just be like, we're taking this back. We have to respect people's boundaries. Also, if the collective group of this, say, hometown is, very dense and controlled, it's hard. We can't do that because we can't overstep their boundaries. So we've done such a tremendous work that we know the sea, thing has been such a hindrance, but in actuality, in an energetic point of view, they really did such a, I wouldn't call it a favor, but these words are so limited. They opened it up for us to really awaken the world, right? Though there's still a lot unawakened, but there's, if we begin at a year, a little more than a year, right? Because this began last year. Was it last year? February, March? Was it last year? It's so hard to remember time and space. So, as it was last year, and that was, wow. If you were to connect at that collective energy of Earth, and what you all were at is such a vast amount to where you're now, because you're here and you could actually understand this video. Back then, you would have watched this video and be like, what are they talking about? You've been like, oh, I don't know. And then you would have left the YouTube channel. Many of you come back after months and after a year of like, oh, now I get it. Okay, so it's like you're lifting your consciousness and your awareness to understand and retain this information. You have to be really working in a high vibrational collective consciousness and awareness of love light. You may ask your questions.
Oh, thank you. This is a beautiful galactic update that you're sharing with us. It's much needed. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
The next question is, you've pretty much answered it in terms of, the shields and everything else that we could do, but can you share if there's anything else left that can be shared? How can we let go of that parasitic consciousness that may have accumulated over time? Thank you.
Well, Yes. The first thing is being aware of it, because when you ignore it and you act like it's not there, then it just hides in the shadows, and it hides in you, in your mind. So you need to recognize it so you can pluck it out like a flea. That's what it is. You need to pluck it out like a flea and squash it. Squash it. Because it's AI. It's not organic. So squash it. So first you need to be aware of that, then squash it. But not till you're aware of it, you understand it, and then you're clouded, and you think everything is love and light. And yes, in the higher dimensions, as we explain, absolutely everything is infinite love light. Everything is infinite love light. Oh, it's glorious. But you're in the densest dimension of our creation, and everything is not love light. Well, let me explain that. Everything is love light, though. Everything is love light within the organic, but within the AI, inverted, obviously that's not love light. um, What's your question? What was your question?
About ridding ourselves of parasitic
Oh yes, the
consciousnesses.
fleas. You squash them. So first, coming into the awareness, setting intentions as far as I'm not going to, I'm not playing this game. I'm very, very sovereign. I'm going to memorize these 12, 13 sacred laws of the universe, which you can find under our Galactic Soul History of the Universe, and you can find it under Aura's website. These sacred laws of law of free will, law of throw, law of surrender, love. All these sacred laws that actually intertwine with your 12 DNA strands. Every single one of these laws are actually part of activating your 12 DNA strands. So when you learn them and you activate them, so too do you activate your 12 DNA strands. And then the more you activate your 12 DNA strands, you wake them up and crystallize them, then you become sovereign, a leveling up of sovereignty and ascending consciousness over and over. So this is the biggest tools that actually we can give you. And actually those 144 and 144 main beacons of pyramids and 144,000 smaller pyramids of energy fields are actually connected directly to these sacred laws. So they assist in awakening and activating these in people. So when they start questioning things, these beacons actually feed that crystalline light energy to them to help them get through to that they're trying to unravel within them and outside of them that is broken or inverted. So yes, recognizing it, then saying, hell no, I don't freaking consent. And then strongly walking that path like you are all that and then some, because you are in a sovereign way, of course, and in a balanced way. But you really are amazing. You really are just, or as husband likes to say, amazing. You really are just, you're our superheroes. That's what you are. So once you start walking with that confidence, you start walking around with that sovereignty, like, oh, I know my sacredness. I know my sovereignty because I am in fully active working on these sacred laws, 12, 13 keys of the universe. And there's nothing that can stop me. It's like you're walking with this field that has like these triangles or circles or whatever shape you like spinning around you, and it's just like reflecting off of you without harming none, reflecting off you. It's like, nope, I'm in my 5-dimensional Saint Germain, kind of alchemist energy, and life becomes grand after that. We've seen this happen a lot this past year within the collective. You may continue.
Thank you. I hope we have time because we have some wonderful questions here. Perhaps we could go through some of them quickly. Do we have another 10, 15 minutes, do you think?
We have 10.
10. Okay, wonderful. Let me see. How can we assist the children of Earth? We did not expect some parents would vaccinate them as young as 12-year-olds and actually babies too. Thank you.
Mhm. So these children, what's happened to them is when this um, injection, and we also say that you do not say the full word, please. So this injection upon them, what happens is that it bifurcates. It bifurcates them, actually, is what it does. It bifurcates them in an inverted and an organic. So what you can do organically, safely, is that you could imagine like a splitting that is occurring within the child in itself. They're not just organic now, they're also part AI, right? What you can do is the organic part of them will always ask for aid and allow assistance always. So not only part of holding the love light, also that role is also to expand it out into who these children that have had this that are being affected. Okay. So, and by these V's, so then when you expand that light, it goes to them, and then it helps like it's like, so their organic bifurcation part of them, to their world split inside of them, it's will continue to hold that inverted, that AI. That's all you can really do, is hold that love light and expand it and send it to whoever will accept it. And because, see, you are like those antennas, right? You are like those pyramids as well. Like you're like those pillars of trees that are lights. So therefore, when we send that love light to you, your higher selves, your benevolence, the galactics of the universe, then you're picking up on it through the antenna, and then there's an infinity of love light that's flowing out through you. So therefore it can become the firepower, the energy to help them get through those times and spaces until they're old enough to release themselves from the inverted. Or, it could also become a shielding if you're sending that significant love light to the children every day on that 555, like we ask every day. Perhaps put a timer like Aurora has to send love to the children. You can set it with an intent. You send it to those children who their parents are to asleep and have compromised them with this inversion into them. So therefore, yes, that will work, because you will help them hold that timeline so it's ready for them, that blueprint. Let me continue with your questions.
Wonderful. Thank you. That really helps. Very quickly. How quickly would you say we are approaching that time where the Earth is going to completely shift back to the fifth dimension? Is that something that can be shared now?
Yes, well, it depends on, as we always talk about, is that everyone's ascension is occurring in an individual or a collective multidimensional level. So for you, it could be, say, 5 years from now, but for another being, say, for example, like Aurora and some of you who are strongly holding love light, who are basically here till the end, because that's what you signed up for, right? Then it could be decades from now that the final physical shift will occur. What we can tell you, it is beautiful, it is grand, we can see it. We are able to see it within our vision, and it is magnificent. It is a beauty, the most beautiful happening event, most beautiful happening that will occur in our universe. It is glorious. And when that shift happens, souls are just released in all forms and times and spaces. And it is a rewinding time and space, back to organic. We can't say further than that, but that's what it is. You may continue with your questions.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Now, how many more questions can we take? Because I certainly want to ask a question about dragons. Thank you.
Let's 2 more.
Wonderful. The next question is about, we do have free will here as within our human experience. What about the free will or desire of our higher selves wanting our human vessel to ascend, but maybe they are too stubborn and stuck in the 3D? Can the higher selves still help in some way? Thank you.
Yeah, the higher selves will never give up. You know, they're that synchronicity that they see, that they like to program. Oh, it's just a coincidence. No, it's not. Your higher self and your team work very hard to make that coincidence happen, you know? So, forgot your question. What's your question?
The free will of our higher selves. Do our higher selves also have some sort of free will over us and our decisions?
Well, higher selves for sure would have free will. Am I understanding your question correctly?
Yes, let me read that out again. All right, just a moment. We have free will in our human experience. What about the free will or desire of our higher selves wanting our human vessel to ascend, but maybe we are too stubborn and stuck in the 3D?
Okay, so yes, everyone has free will. However, yeah, the higher self cannot overstep your boundaries. Cannot, because when they do that, then they're crossing crossing boundaries, and then they enter into an archonic programming. The minute they do that, they can become compromised themselves, and then they're part of the virus themselves. So that's one of the main reasons why you all get frustrated with us, and you're like, why can't you just pull us out of here? Why can't you just give us instant answers? Because we can't overstep your boundaries. You need to keep leveling up. You need to keep doing your work. If you're not doing your work and you're not working hard on yourself every day, well, you can't be that high enough vibration and frequency. And if you're not that matching high enough vibration and frequency for the knowledge and the wisdom of your memory field, we can't give it to you because it's not a matching. So you need to be, it's like constant leveling up, and they can't overstep that. They can't do that because they could actually harm your soul. And when they harm your soul, let me try to explain that better. Oh, human words. I think you guys understand. I think you understand what I'm saying. They can't overstep your boundaries. You need to level yourself up so that you're the high enough vibration so that they can give you the information you want. Do your work more diligently, more focused, more sacredly. Slow time down. Learn how to slow time down. Learn how to flow with the time. Learn how to forget that there is time for there isn't. Just flow with it. Let me see if there's anything I want to add to that. Yes. So you understand. I think did we make that clear?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
That makes sense. Thank you. And this is a final question. Do we have any messages from our Dragon Collective, specifically from Inner Earth? Since Inner Earth has all of the elemental beings, how can we assist them? That is the Dragon brothers and sisters. How can we assist them as well? Thank you.
Oh, yes. Okay. So the memory field of the dragon has awakened. Again, this 12/21/2020 is such a big meeting within our time and space together collectively. Such a big unity there. Now the dragons are awaiting. Many of them are awaiting for you to wake up to their beauty and to wake up to you realizing that you are a dragon and they are you. What happens is that you all remember how we said how those planetary spheres from above were able to maintain still connected to Earth, and then also connected to those that could not stay connected to Earth because they could have been sucked in like that black hole. I'm sure you know who was it that helped them. The dragons. Prime dragons, celestial dragons, dragons of creation are who held these planets in time and space and bridged them back and forth, holding that energy for those planetary spheres that are still assisting. Until now, they are still holding the vaster amount of 40 to 50 planets that are now being connected to Earth, helping it anchor its light. They are. So if you could imagine that beautiful benevolence, celestial power, imagine if you were to ground that and anchor that on Earth. Like we always say, ascension would have been over a long time ago. So do your work, connect to your dragons, because they actually are inside of you. They're in your blueprint because they are you. So they're fractals of you inside of you. Or maybe you're a fractal of a dragon. And we collectively interact with them in a multidimensional here, because remember what we said, how they are who is holding the blueprint of the 5D right now. The dragons are. That's what we mean by that. That's how they're holding. These magical creatures are holding that in the five dimension. You're in the 3D, but they're holding it up here waiting for you. And for that, we recommend you reading book 2 preview, because it will expand. Get ready though, because it will expand you in ways that bring back such a beauty and sovereignty, and it really helps you understand the dragons as well, because there's many pages of that. Speaking of that, there. So yes, they're ready. They're waiting for you. They're waiting in. They're trying to come through portals, but a lot of them have black magic on them. But we're working very hard on bringing those back with the pyramids, with you holding that love light. All this is beautifully intertwined. All things together. Work together. All things. Thank you. It has been such an honor and truly a joy to be here with you. What is the word? Can't find the word. What a gift you are to us, to be in your presence and your beauty and all that you are. We love you, honor you, thank you, and respect you. Our infinite love to everyone. We will see you in your dreams. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. What a beautiful transmission. Thank you. All right, love you all. Again, reminder, retreat in Chicago is in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Love to see you there. Feels like I was in there for 1 week. I think that's why I lost that 1 week. Yes. But yes, love to see you there, so you could learn how to remove the inverted or hypnosis, raw Reiki from yourself and others. Love you, love you, love you. Honor you, thank you, and respect you. Please share this video. So important that you share it. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Love you.